Thank you, Greg. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Pope. I'm the Marketing Director at Jumio. And today my colleague, John McIntosh, and I, we'd like to share with you how Jumio is solving two problems for the financial services industry. Firstly, how to reduce abandonment during the online account opening process. And secondly, how to deliver KYC for the consumers who are opting to go digital with their finances. So we solve both these problems using computer vision technology. And what we mean by that is that these days when customers come to your site or your app to open an account and you ask them to key in their details the old-fashioned way, and you ask them to send their documents in by post, email, or drop them in branch, well, we think that's a bit old-fashioned. So what I mean by computer vision technology is when we integrate this into your site or your app and your customers come along ready to open an account, they don't need to type anything. All they need to do, whip out their driving license, ID card, passport, or whatever, hold it up to the device camera, and computer vision technology will see, scan, and extract and populate the data and pop it neatly into the account originations process. Seamlessly, in the background as well, we'll authenticate that identity document. We'll make sure it's a valid government-issued ID document, it's not a forgery, and of course, that it's actually the owner of that document that's there transacting with you on your site or your app. So let's do a demo. So John and I were going to demo a fictitious bank called the Bank of Londinium and how Jumio's services are integrated into their app. So you have a customer, they're ready to open an account with you, be it credit card, current account, mortgage. Today they're going to apply for a current account. And so the first thing we see is the customer has a choice. They can enter their data in the old-fashioned way. They can type up to 100 different keystrokes onto 7 or 8 different fiddly fields, probably a few swear words along the way, or they can press one button and scan their identity document. So surprise, surprise, today's customer is going to scan into the transaction. At which point, we can see here that John's device is defaulting to the UK, but the customer can choose which country their documents are issued from. Jumio's service works for over 120 countries around the world. So no matter if your customer is from Albania or Australia, or in fact even the Antarctic, we can deliver quicker, swifter account opening and KYC for you here. So today, John's going to choose the United Kingdom. Jumio will basically dynamically serve a list of the documents we have for that country from where we can extract and populate and authenticate. Today, John's going to choose a driver's license. Then immediately, John's prompted to hold up at the front of his driving license the device camera, and Jumio's technology automatically wakes up the device camera. So John's going to hold his document here. So we have Jumio's template matcher technology that's going to, when John stops shaking, we kind of planned for this. We didn't eat into the time too much. Anyway, so Jumio's template matcher technology will actually seek the edges of the document. It will automatically crop it and rotate it, zoom into it, and capture the data. Okay, that's good. So we've got a document. We're going to use that document in a minute. So the next stage is that the customer's asked to do a selfie. And this is an optional part of the process. We call it face match. In essence, what we're going to do is compare the identity document, the face in the identity document, with the face in the camera. And the reason we want to do this is that if I was a fraudster, I could steal John's ID documents, at which point I'd go off and try to open a financial instrument in his name. However, if we're actually going to do a comparison between the faces, then this is a better way to go. It's actually delivering a multi-factor authentication into the process as well. Anyhow, so onto the face match. So with this optional service, the customer's asked to do a selfie. Looks a little bit demonic there. Anyhow, so what we're actually doing here is a process called liveness detection. And the reason the customer's asked to look into the camera and blink for 5 seconds is we're going to take a series of frames and compare them all and look for movement. And obviously what we're doing here is trying to make sure that fraudsters don't try and get around the process by holding up a picture of John's face to try and spoof that. Okay, that's good. So now we've got the identity document. Now we've got the face. We're going to upload those to the Jumio engine as well. But once we've got the document, we're then going to do a couple of tests on it as well. So no matter whether it be a Mexican driving license, Bulgarian ID card, Indian passport, no matter what year it's issued in, we know exactly what format that document should take, what shape it should be, what size it should be, what font should be used, and what size font should be used as well. So we're going to test all this information. And then we're actually going to look at the holograms. Are the holograms in the right place? Is there evidence of hologrammatic quality? And then we're going to look at the microprint. The microprint, that's the microscopic pictures of famous landmarks and people in the background. Then we're going to compare the document against a list of known forgeries. And finally, we're going to examine the document for evidence of image or pixel manipulation. So that's the authentication that takes place in the background. Thank you, John. So at this point, the customer submits the document, and obviously this process happens in the background. What the customer really sees is their document being scanned and then their details appearing neatly in the counter application process. So here's John's data that we've lifted off the identity document. And this is obviously just part of the process. I realise that the account opening process often requires employer salary details, but it makes the front end of it much, much quicker. And the quicker it is, the easier it is. And the quicker and easier it is, the less people abandon and the more people complete. So 12 months ago, we presented here. Since then, we've been integrated into banks, into payment processors, into money transfer platforms, peer-to-peer lending, prepaid, and other forms of financial services. What we're learning from our clients is that this huge abandonment rate is actually driven by old-fashioned KYC processes, where customers are asked to take a copy of their document into a branch, or post it, or email it, or fax it. And what we learn is that for every 100 customers that come to a bank site or a lender's site to complete this process, only 30 actually ever make it over the finishing line. So at Jumio, we believe that KYC and account origination is about using new technology. KYC shouldn't be something that you do because the regulator says you have to. It can and should be used as a differentiator in your account opening process. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a lovely audience. Thank you for listening to Jumio.